Going live. I have no idea what to talk about. I'm watching The Legend of Bruce Lee. I think it has Daniel Craig in it. I'm kind of confused because I woke up in the middle. Oh, he's not in here. Gary Daniels. Maybe that's who I saw. Okay, well, I woke up in the middle of the night with my YouTube still going, and it was on The Legend of Bruce Lee, and it looked like Daniel Craig. So I was like, what's going on? So I paused it and saved it to watch this morning. And it's been really good so far. But yeah, there's no Daniel Craig in it. It's what year is it from? 2014. It's really good. The story of the legendary martial arts icon Bruce Lee, following him from Hong Kong to America and back again, leading up to his tragic death at the age of 32. I didn't realize he was so young when he died. But I will say that watching it has made me motivated to, hi, Jim Jones, how are you? I will say that watching it has made me want to take up martial arts again. I'm a little hot. I might have to take the sweater off. I just felt like this is my pajama sweater, but I like wearing it when I just want to be comfy. So I'm not going anywhere today. So I thought I would just be casual. But yeah, watching The Legend of Bruce Lee makes me, I'm good, Jim, thank you. Watching The Legend of Bruce Lee makes me want to take martial arts again. You might know that I have a green belt in Shinpu Ren Karate. Yes, please take it off. I'll go put on a nicer, lighter shirt. I'll be right back. I could get away with just doing it in my bra, but I'm not going to do that. But I'll give you a little looky-see. I'll give you a little looky-see. So, hi, Bryson. I'll put on a top so I'm not just sitting here in my bra. So you might know that I'm a green belt in Shinpu Ren Karate, which I took for 4 years. And it was a very child-friendly class. So I didn't feel like I was definitely a green belt. So I would be very happy to start a new martial arts course as a white belt. That's usually what you do if you change to another dojo or another discipline. You're not going to go in with your green belt. And I don't expect to go in with my green belt because I think any other dojo I join, the green belt is going to be way more advanced than I am in my skills. So, but yeah, I would love to do that. And I might be able to afford a class to do because I'm getting a job. I have been provisionally hired somewhere. Supposedly it's a 3-month probation period, and they're still doing they're still doing the background check. But I think I should pass that okay, unless they're looking at my credit history, which isn't great right now because during COVID, I haven't been able to pay some of my credit cards off. They're small credit cards, but they might, still look at that. So I'm not holding my breath, but I at least have a job for a little while. And I hope it can be a long-term job. I really want to be for years at a company. I don't want to be doing this bouncing around bullshit. It's kind of fun, I'll admit, but there are gaps in between that I'm just totally broke during. So it's strange because everyone is saying that there's such a shortage of labor, but I'm not finding that in the job market at all. I'm finding it to be very hard to get a job. And I have decent work history. I have plenty of experience. So I don't know. It just seems harder for me to get a job now than it ever was. Which causes me to question the whole argument that we're short on labor. I think that companies are creating that storyline to say, oh, we want people to be working, but they're not, as a way to complain about the great resignation. But then they're not hiring people permanently. They're hiring people temporarily. And most people don't want temporary work. They want permanent jobs. So anyway, I'm going to my orientation tomorrow, and I'm excited about that. And what else did I want to talk about? I don't know. Joining another dojo. I've got this ad somewhere for a dojo that I took off the. Hi, Jeremiah. Why are you asking where I live? I mean, I'll tell you, but why do you want to know? So I want to switch to another dojo. I saw one advertised on a telephone pole and all around town, and I'm looking into that one. So I might take up martial arts again. I find it to be very good for my anxiety. It's a discipline. So you have to really be disciplined, and it will probably cut down on my weed smoking and my cigarette smoking and make me more disciplined and get me in shape more and making me more focused than I have been. Thank you, Bryson. I took an anxiety pill last night and I had a really long, good night's sleep, but I kind of had bad dreams. So I don't know what that was about, but I slept until like 11 o'clock. I was up at 4:30 and I stayed up till about 5:30 and then watched the Benjamin Dixon show. And then I fell asleep at about 5:30 and woke up at 11. I live in Seattle, Jeremiah. But I'm thinking about all these guys that say they want to get to know me on YouTube of offering a service of chatting for $15. What do you think about that, Jeremiah? Because a lot of guys ask me the same questions over and over again. So I would be really happy to spend time, but I would want to be paid for my time. And I feel like I repeat myself a lot when I do these lives and get the same questions from people that, quote, want to get to know me. So I kind of want to get some compensation for my time for that. So I am very broke right now. I'm hoping that this job will pay on next week so I can get some money. And I'm indulging my friend from Nordstrom who I worked with. She's taking me on a 10-week, once a week, 10-week course called Alpha. And it's a religious thing. And I'm going just to indulge her and hear what she has to say about religion. I am atheist and she knows that. And I've told the people in the group that I'm atheist and they are fine with that. They just want me to open my mind to this stuff. And I'm just going for the free food and the discussion and the socialization. And I told my friend that and she's fine with that. So, you know, if I can make some friends that are Christians, that's fine. I welcome any friends into my life. And I've already met some really nice people there. So I'm looking forward to that. And I do want to get more involved in community groups. So now that the restrictions are somewhat lessened, I'm going to join some meetups, I think, online. Do what's best for you, Jeremiah. Thank you. I've also raised the price on my OnlyFans from $15 to $25, and that automatically sends a notice to all my subscribers to opt in to pay that amount. And I lost a subscriber, and that's fine. Most of my subscribers have a non-recurring payment, so I don't really mind losing one. And I do have fun doing the pictures and stuff. I love getting dressed up in sexy outfits and doing little photo shoots. But I feel like I'm not getting compensated enough for them. So I'm contemplating taking it all down, or at least for a little while, not permanently, but for a little while. I've contacted BentBox and told them that I've been stuck at $85 for 6 months. And I'm wondering if they will pay me out, just go ahead and pay me out and delete my account because nobody uses BentBox anymore when you've got OnlyFans. The good thing about BentBox is you can download whatever you purchase, but I don't know if that's an option on OnlyFans as well. So I'm going to get rid of BentBox. I've taken it down from my About page, and I might suspend my OnlyFans for a little while. I'm not sure. I'm definitely getting rid of my Patreon at some point. I have 2 subscribers to that, but I only have 8 subscribers on OnlyFans. So it's really not a lucrative thing for me to be doing. It's passive income. And I enjoy doing the photo shoots, but I also want to be paid what I think I'm worth. And I think I'm worth more than that. So YouTube is my home. So I'm trying to think if I have any topics for my Cougar life. Do you guys have any topics you want me to cover for my Cougar life videos? Jeremiah, do you have any ideas for a topic that I might do a video on for the Cubs out there? I would really love to attract more women to my channel, but I don't know how to do that. I know a lot of people don't like it when I talk about my politics, but politics are pretty important to me. And one channel that I really follow is the All-American Socialist. He wears a suit and he does all these funny videos about capitalism. And you've been asking for that for a while. I will have to do that. That's a great idea, Bryson. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget this time. Thank you, Bryson. Okay, intimacy. There, I've written it down in my notebook now, so I won't forget. What should we talk about with intimacy? You're not just talking about sex, right? You're talking about intimacy in a larger extent, right? Like getting close to someone and being vulnerable with someone and letting someone be vulnerable with you. And that's intimacy. And you need that if you're going to be dating a cougar, because contrary to what a lot of people think, I don't think cougars are just looking for sex. They want companionship as well. And they love that younger men are optimistic and hopeful and looking to the future. And so they have to be willing to be vulnerable. Oh, that's a great idea, Jeremiah. Relationships and what happens after. Excuse me. And how to work through a breakup. Let me get some water. Jeremiah, that's a great idea. I'm definitely going to do that. Getting through a breakup. I watched a lot of videos about getting over a breakup many years ago when someone kind of broke my heart, or I forced him to break my heart by telling him, you know, I think you're way more, or I'm way more into you than you are into. Why is my hair so flat today? It looks terrible, you guys. I hate it. I think it needs to get trimmed. So getting close, how you like to be touched, reach you on a mental level, and personality. Okay, I'm going to write that down. So yeah, Jeremiah, years ago, I kind of told this guy, you know, I think I'm way more into you and I'm kind of falling for you and you don't seem like you're that into me, so I'm going to break it off. And then I spun into a nervous breakdown and watched all these videos about breakups and getting over a breakup, and none of them really helped. So I can add my 2 cents, Jeremiah, for sure. I'll do a video about that. I don't know about how you like to be touched, Bryson. I'm not going to get into the sexual stuff, but getting close and reaching someone on a mental level. How to reach a cougar on a mental level. Because without that mental connection, you know what they say, or my mom used to always say, sex is between the ears, not between the legs. So if you don't have a mental connection with a cougar, you're not going to get the goods. Guys think it's super easy to bag a cougar, and it's not. Massage. Oh, okay. Well, that's a little overly sensual to talk about too, Bryson. I want to talk about more practical, tangible stuff. I don't know how much I could go into massage. Massage is very intimate. I don't know. Too often, men use massage as a gateway to sex. And so I don't know if that's something I want to recommend or not. I have had a 5-month breakup with my 33-year-old girlfriend, and I'm still trying to fix myself. Oh, Jeremiah, I'm sorry. I remember reading an article many, many years ago. I don't know if I'd be able to find it online. It was decades ago, about a funny but helpful article that was written in a women's magazine about getting over a breakup. And it was like, just revel in it and don't try to build up a wall right away, because you can't. When you're raw from a breakup, you need to be easy with yourself and indulge yourself. And so she recommended, you know, if you have your ex's t-shirt, wear it for a full week if you have to. Just indulge yourself and be sad, and don't be afraid to be sad. So I thought that was more helpful than a lot of the videos that say, move on, get new hobbies, go out and meet new people, because you're hurting. You can't, it's also not appropriate when you might get stuck in a rebound, and nobody likes to be the rebound person. So you're not really respecting the other person if you get right back out there and try to date right away. 5 months, well, it depends on how long you were together. So how long were you guys together, Jeremiah? Because they say it takes half the time, I think, of a relationship to recover from the relationship. So if you were together for like 10 months or more, then 5 months would be appropriate, according to what I've read. But I would think that it really depends on how, not just how long you were together, but hi, F. Valdez, thank you. I would say it would depend also, in addition to how long you were together, how close you were, because some relationships you can break off and be just fine if the emotional connection wasn't there towards the end and it slowly died on its own. But if there were a lot of strong feelings at the time of the breakup, then it's going to take longer to get over, obviously. I don't know if Jeremiah is still here. I'm kind of wondering how long you were with your 33-year-old girlfriend. And how old are you, Jeremiah? I got online and I was planning to do a really long live today. So let's see if we can do it. I've only been on for 16 minutes. I got real anxious yesterday. My anxiety was pretty high. And I finally took an anxiety pill at night, so I was able to sleep. But when I have anxiety, I can't do the things I like to do. And yesterday I tried to go live, but I think I was just too anxious. And that's why I snapped at Bryson and was like, hurry up and type your response. Because when I'm anxious, I'm very impatient. So I took an anxiety pill this morning and I feel like it's slowing me down a little bit so I can think better and maybe hopefully do a live for a little bit longer. Because I know I have viewers that don't come in until like an hour or 2 hours into my live. So I want to be here for everybody. Well, been dating for at least 6 months and a half, been single for 5 months. And yeah, the emotional connection was not strong and I left her feeling nothing. And I'm 22. Oh, wow. Now I want the meat of the matter, Jeremiah. How is it that you were able to leave without feeling anything? Was she really mean to you? Did she kill the relationship? Because I don't think people realize how delicate relationships are, love relationships. It is so easy to wreck them and to kill the relationship. And maybe the person won't leave right away, but their feelings can die very quickly. And it might take them a while to get out of the relationship after that feeling dies. So Jeremiah, are you having any difficulty getting over the breakup at all? Or are you back out there already and feeling like you can date again? If I stay on long enough, I think we'll get enough ideas to keep the conversation going, I'm hoping. And I can always do karaoke in the meantime. Let me open up my karaoke list. I'm going to bookmark The Legend of Bruce Lee here so I can save it without keeping the tab open. And let's see. My channel, my playlists, and karaoke favorites. What should I start with? I feel like something soulful. I'll start with Flora Cash. Oh, wait, let me pause it so I can read this. Jeremiah, yes, she was very evil. She hated I sleep all the time and she wanted me to be more sensitive, more nice. She had anxiety and medical issues and stuff, and she left me because I was sleeping. Yeah, it's hard to know what issues people have until you really get into a relationship with them and start seeing who they really are. And I'm sorry you got into a relationship with someone that it might not have been very obvious at first, but she had medical issues and anxiety. And when you're 22, you need a lot of sleep. I don't date 22-year-olds because I find they're too young for me. just anger about what she did, but all in all, felt nothing, was happy and felt that she should leave. And I've been on dating apps, right? And I'm on dating apps right now. Oh, good, Jeremiah. Jeremiah, have you selected your preference, your age preferences, so you get older women? Because I always tell my viewers that there's no special dating app for dating older women, and there doesn't need to be. You can just use the regular dating apps and set your preferences to the age group of women that you want to date, and then you'll get recommendations that way. But I say that for two reasons. One, it seems like all the Cougar Cub dating sites are scams and spammers. And two, I don't think women go to those sites. I think guys go to those sites. I've been on one and it was all guys, and it doesn't even exist anymore. So I don't know what happened to it. 25 to 60. Oh, you might want to narrow that down a little bit, Jeremiah. Because, I mean, are you just dragnetting and want to get as many people as possible? Because you might need to be a little bit more specific to get what you really want. How can men become more active listeners, says Bryson. I don't know the answer to that, Bryson. I think that there might be a stigma against men that they're not good listeners. I find that men listen just fine. I haven't had that issue. I've had the issue deep into a relationship of not being heard in general and being gaslighted, but that's a different thing. Being gaslighted for talking a lot and opening up about my feelings and stuff like that, that's never good. Maybe just, Bryson, it's about validating what you hear and reflecting back to the woman what she has said and reiterating, you know, I understand you felt such and such in that situation, and I'm sorry about that happened to you, you know, or that's great that you have that hobby, I have this hobby, type of thing. So there's a response that can show whether you're listening or not. And if you're really listening to someone, you will reflect what they say and then add something of your own. Prefer a younger man with less sensual experience or an older gentleman with more experience? F. Valdez. I definitely prefer a younger man with less sensual experience. Well, I guess women ages 27 to 35. That's a good place to start, Jeremiah. Because if a woman sees that you're going for 25 to 60, she might think you don't really know what you're looking for. Because I think they can see your preferences too. So we're 20 minutes in and we have 7 viewers. So that's a good number for me. Usually, you know, the longer I stay on, the more viewers I get. So I'm going to try to stay on for a little longer today. And Jeremiah, I would say if you're 22, I would recommend not going over 35. So I think you're probably right in that area, because a 22-year-old is very young, and a woman over 35 is going to probably be a little bit too much for you in terms of too many expectations that at your age you just can't fulfill. Kind of like what Bryson is talking about. Bryson's about 10 years older than you. And he's talking about how to be a good listener and how to create intimacy. And for someone your age, you might not be interested in those things. Okay, I'm going to sing for a minute, just to piss off my haters. I saw the part of you that only when you're older you will see too. You will see too. I held the better cards, but every stroke of luck has gotta bleed through. Gotta bleed through. You held the balance of the time that only blindly I could read you, but I could read you. It's like you told me, go forward slowly, it's not a race to the end. Well, you look like yourself, but you're somebody else, only it ain't on the surface. Well, you talk like yourself, no, I hear someone else, though now you're making making me nervous. You were the better part of every bit of bleeding heart that I had, whatever I had. I finally sat alone, pitch black, flesh and bone, couldn't believe that you were gone. Well, you look like yourself, but you're somebody else, only it ain't on the surface. Well, you talk like yourself, no, I hear someone else, so now you're making me nervous. Like yourself, but you're somebody else, only it ain't on the surface. Okay, I learned not just physical, says Bryson. I know. Yeah, true. I learned it the hard way last time with another woman, but I'm trying though and made some changes to getting a conversation and understanding women. Oh, that's great, Jeremiah. So yeah, you know, a simple reflecting of what she says back to her after she says it, and then adding your own insight into what she has said. That's, you know, the core of communication. And that's very hard to do when you're 22. So that's just something that, you know, you can work on with her. You can even be open with her and be like, you know, I'm only 22, so I don't have a whole lot of experience in relationships, but I do want to be a good listener and let her guide you a little bit. Hi, Erin. Thank you. That's so sweet. I don't understand how the monetization goes, but I really appreciate that because I had $42 for the month in my YouTube, but then it went down to 40. So I don't know why it takes money away. Does anybody know that? Why that happens? They will only pay you out on YouTube when you hit $100. So it takes me a couple months to get there. I can't believe, and I'm so outraged that video gamers are making $10 million on Twitch. I'm totally demoralized by that. I feel like this young generation is not going to do shit for the world because they're just in their fantasy world of video games and they don't care what's going on around them. It's very disheartening that a video game player makes so much money. Video games are not real life, people. Get out in the world. And you're never going to meet an older lady behind a video game. Well, you might, but doubtful. So Jeremiah, I did a video on appetite, and I think that at your age, you probably have a larger appetite than an older guy. And so you're going to have to give a little bit of control to the older woman. And I say that because when your appetite is bigger than the other person's appetite for sex, I'm saying, then you have to buffer it with, you know, not only the communication ability and the listening ability, but you also have to hand over a little bit of control to the other person. Because in my opinion, the person that should be in control in the relationship should be the one with the lesser appetite, because they can make more rational decisions, because relationships do follow a rational path if they're healthy. And then you have to give that person with the lesser appetite, they have better judgment on situations, whereas the person with the greater appetite might rush into things. The person with the lesser appetite will pace things better. So I feel like the person with the lesser appetite, and it's not to say they aren't interested in the relationship, it's just that they aren't, their appetite for creating the relationship isn't as great. So I think that it's the other person's obligation to follow their lead if they really like them. That's what I've done with my king cub. And I texted him and said, you know, I really mean this. I'm glad you have the control because I would have crashed and burned us already, but he's been the one pacing it out and it's lasted 4 years. I've let him have the control and I've been fighting it all this time. But now I've decided I'm just going to let him pace the relationship because he's much wiser, because he's not as invested in having a relationship because he just came out of a 10-year relationship. He was with the same person from the age of 19 to 29. I also think it's a sign of progress that he texted me and told me he was going to be out of reach for a week, because he would have never done that before. I would need to calm my mind before I did anything. Bryson, you might need anxiety medication. You know, the stuff I take only lasts 6 hours, and you can take it 3 times a day if you need it, but it won't knock you out. It'll just make you be able to think better. Think in steps instead of what anxiety does. Anxiety cuts out steps in the middle and rushes you into things. That's probably a part of my relationship dynamic too with my king. I have good anxiety about him, but nonetheless, it's anxiety, and it puts him off when I'm too needy. Slow jams usually do it, but you can't bring them with you on a date, Bryson. I know it's hard though, Bryson, to take medication. I hate taking pills. I do not like taking pills. F. Valdez, do cougars have a larger appetite? It's possible. I would say that the appetite can be stronger on the woman's side or on the cub side, on the cougar side or on the cub side. So it might even be up to the cub to pace out the relationship. But I would think that more often it would be the cougar pacing the relationship. So young guys have to give up a bit of control, which I think is hard for young guys to do. What might send the wrong message, Bryson? Hi, Stevie. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining the chat. I'm going to try to stay on a little longer today. I was only on for less than an hour yesterday, and I was having a lot of anxiety, so I wasn't able to think up conversations and able to stay on for very long because I kind of panicked and was like, well, I don't have anything to talk about. But my reason for going live is usually that I just want to reach out and socialize with people. I need to connect with people, and we're in lockdown, and I'm in a place that I've only lived since COVID. So I don't have any friends here. I have a couple friends. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going on this 10-week course where they feed me dinner. So I get a free dinner, and that's the main reason I'm going. But I'm also looking forward to the religious discussion. Like we discussed who is Jesus at the first one I just went to last week with her. And then we had a roundtable discussion at each of our tables and about the film. And I found it really interesting because the friend that brought me, she's from Malaysia. And she was saying that she sees a huge difference in the religions that people practice in Southeast Asia, like Hinduism and Buddhism and Islam, and that they all require sacrifice, and that you're constantly doing things to show the god or gods that you are compliant and you're submitting to them. But she says in Christian religion, Jesus has already taken on those sins and sacrificed for you. So you don't have to do all that superstitious sacrificial stuff. And I had never thought of it that way before. I'd always favored, if any religion, Hinduism, because I appreciated that they had more than one God. But I can definitely see how Hinduism would be requiring a lot of sacrifices and rituals to all the various gods. And I can see that as very tedious now. So anyway, even though I'm atheist, I found the discussion really insightful, especially from my friend from Malaysia. So Bryson, what do you mean about the wrong message? What were you referring to? Back to the question, if a cougar has a larger appetite, I mean, I can see maybe an older woman wanting to rush into a relationship faster than a cub, and that the cub would have to put the brakes on that. And that's the situation I'm in. So I'm kind of contradicting myself a little bit. Hi, Gurinder. So I'm kind of contradicting myself a little bit because in my situation, I'm the one with the greater appetite and I'm the cougar. So there have to be other cougars out there that are rushing things. And it's going to be up to the cub to pace things by, not answering text messages right away, not getting into lengthy discussions when they don't want to, just, being friendly but not always responsive. Hi, check your logic. Define larger appetite. I'm talking mostly about the appetite for relationship and the appetite for sex. The slow jams could because of the messages they send. That's right, Bryce. And a lot of them are sleazy slow jams, right? About getting it on. Do you have a cub of your own? Says F. Valdez. Yes, I have a king cub. He's 33 now. I've known him since he was 29. And I have 2 other men that I see. One is just 4 years younger than me, and he's married with kids, and his wife lets him fool around with me. But I haven't seen him in about 2 months. And he and I have the same appetite. It's a very just sex relationship, and we have great conversation, and we're friends. So I appreciate that. And then I have a third gentleman that I haven't also spoken to in a couple of weeks that I've only met once in person, but I've known him online for about a year. So I hate to say it, but I do kind of contradict myself again when I say that I don't. I get a lot of questions about whether guys can date me, and I don't even know who they are. And it's their first time commenting on one of my videos. And they're like, I want to get to know you better. Can we date? And it's like, no, you can't come at me like that. You have to slow the brakes, get to know me a little bit, and then maybe something will happen. But usually I will just off the cuff say, no, it's not going to happen because I don't like that approach. Whereas it's not entirely true. There are gentlemen from online that I've met in person and made friends with and had intimate relationships with. So, but I just don't want to make it seem like it's something that I do regularly and do very easily with just anybody that comments the first time to one of my videos. It's not like I'm going to go, oh, yes, let's get into it. I love how you and him are polyamorous. Yeah. I don't know if it's polyamorous because there's not much love going on. It's more like friends with benefits. I just call it non-monogamy. But a lot there sung with so much feeling. Yeah, Bryson. I know. They can't sing about they can sing about listening and bringing flowers. They don't always have to sing about getting it on. Check your logic says, I definitely have a larger appetite. So check your logic. Are you comfortable with giving the control over to the older woman that you date, or is that really hard for you? Because the reason I ask is because I would rush things with my king cub and it would have destroyed us by now, long ago. But because I've allowed him, however reluctantly up until now I'm going to let him just have the control. He has made it last 4 years going at the pace that he's been pacing us. So I appreciate that. I would much rather have a longer term arrangement that's less intense than a shorter term relationship that's more intense. Let's see what other, I'm going to do Alice in Chains next. Let's see if I can get all the, we chase misprinted lies. We face the path of time. And yet I fight, and yet I fight this battle all alone. No one to cry to, no place to call home. of self is raped. My privacy is raped. And yet I find repeating in my head, if I can't be my own, I'd feel better dead. Ooh. Hey, Daniel. Proud sub-cub tattoo. That would be awesome, Daniel. How are you, Daniel? It's so nice to see you. Daniel has found the key, you guys. He has got an older woman that he just loves being with, and he practices Tantra with her, and he has submitted and given her the control. Daniel, what do you think about my argument about appetite and how the person with the most appetite needs to sort of cede to the person with less appetite so that the person with less appetite can pace the relationship how they feel more comfortable, and the person with more appetite has to exercise a little patience and manage their anxiety about wanting to crash into the relationship and crash and burn. How long have you been together, Daniel, now? Maybe Daniel just popped in for a minute and then popped out again. That's okay. Let's put on Black Sabbath Planet Caravan. Karaoke. Oh, you've been together over a year. Daniel, would you say that she paces the relationship more than you? I read an interesting Facebook post today. It said, sometimes the person you would take a bullet for is the person behind the gun. It was about betrayal. I thought that was really interesting. The reason I bring it up is because I kind of feel like betrayed by the person that made a lot of video or made that horrible 1.5 hour long video about me that was supposedly someone I used to be friends with. I didn't think that not being friends anymore would cause her to have such a severe reaction. Hi, Sandy. She's really patient, and we've made our relationship level with each moment. Oh, interesting. Yes, Sandy, thank you for recommending Nicole Sadler's chat. I really enjoyed it. I didn't stay there for too terribly long because they were kind of all over the place with the healthcare, but I did comment that I feel like the anti-vax nurses are really agitating the nurse shortage. You know, we have a nurse shortage, and I feel like the anti-vax nurses are kind of holding us hostage. I love you too, Sandy. If you look up Earthbound Enchantment or Nikki Jean, you will see what she looks like. Okay, I'm going to look it up. Earthbound Enchantment. Oh my gosh. Wow. I see her. Wow. She's gorgeous. Oh my gosh. She looks so young. Wow, she has a really pretty nose. Her whole face is just beautiful and her hair is red. Oh my gosh, she's gorgeous, Daniel. I fit that show, Sandy. RP says Washington State coach just lost his job and $3 million salary refusing to go COVID vaccine. Well, good riddance. That's how I feel about it. If you're willing to give up your job, then somebody else will take your job. Free markets. The capitalists, the right wingers always say free markets. You can get another job. She's 37, Daniel. She looks like she's in her 20s. Not that 37 is old by any measure, but she looks a lot younger than that. Wow, that's amazing. How old are you? You're 26, right? Check your logic. Don't be cringe. What do you mean? Check your logic. Cringe is in the eye of the beholder. You might think something is cringe and somebody else doesn't. So it's subjective. There is no objectively cringy such thing. But what do you mean? Check your logic. What was I doing that was cringe in your opinion? In your opinion. First of all, recognize it's your opinion. Yes, Sandy, I'm out of weed right now, so I'm smoking cigarettes. I know, Gurinder, it's crazy that people would give up $3 million salary just because of the vaccine. They're so brainwashed. So check your logic. How am I being cringe? I want to know from someone who claims to be a fan. Type it in the chat. I'll be right back. I've been drinking a lot of water and coffee today, so. Oh. Claims to be a man? Ooh. What do you mean claims to be a man? What did I say? Oh my gosh, she has music videos on YouTube? That's amazing. Let me look up Nikki Jean on YouTube. There's lots of Nikki Jeans. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Let me type it in right. Nickie. There she is. Oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. What do you mean, check your logic? Claims to be a man? What did I say? Land of Enchantment is one of her songs. Let me make sure I've got the right channel. Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at it right now. I'll turn the volume down. I'll just look at it. She's so beautiful. Wow, I'm envious. She's so beautiful. I like her freckles. You must be quite a piece of work, Daniel, to have a lady like that in your life. Check your logic. I'm still not knowing what you're referring to. Claims to be a man. I'm thinking you probably misunderstood what I said, but I want to be held to account. So I don't think I said anything wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Who has music videos on YouTube? Daniel's Cougar. And she's gorgeous. You said I claim to be a man. What? I don't think I said I think you claim to be a man. You must have misunderstood. Yeah, I didn't say you claim to be a man. Are you talking about this stream? No, no, no. I didn't say that. Check your logic. What was the context? I can clarify for you what I said. I don't remember what I said that you misheard. So you know what I hate? I hate that when I play karaoke music, I get copyright notices and they don't give me a strike, but they, why is your audio glitching? Let me turn off, maybe I have too many tabs open. Let me close some tabs. Is that any better? Is my audio getting any better? Tell me in the chat. Is my audio fucked up? I was going to say every time I put karaoke in my live streams, I get a copyright notice and they don't give me a strike, but they won't let me monetize. And I really want to monetize my lives because they get way more views than my other videos. I always figure out that I should monetize something after I get a lot of views. I'm like, damn it, I should have monetized that. The audio gets higher when you play the karaoke music. Oh, okay. So I'll keep the karaoke music off. That's pretty broad, Bryson, for a possible discussion, femininity and masculinity. Just let me hum. I've done femininity and masculinity in terms of antinatalism. I haven't done it in terms of anything else. What context do you want that in, Bryson? Because that's a huge topic. I mean, I could just start by saying that in Jungian theory, the goal is integration through uniting your feminine and masculine traits, that feminine and masculine traits are inside of everybody. And that if they're balanced, that's weird because you're monetized. I'm not monetized, so I can get copyrights up the wazoo and they don't care. Well, maybe I wasn't monetizing them. I still haven't complimented older ladies, by the way. I thought you did. Check your logic. Maybe that was somebody else. That might have been Stevie. So the idea of Jungian therapy is to integrate your feminine and masculine traits. The idea is that every person has masculine and feminine traits and has to find the unique balance of those two for themselves. Twice. I haven't since then. Oh, you're gun shy now. I still say check your logic. If it had been the other way around and the first lady was rude and the second lady was nice, you probably would have had more positive reinforcement. But because the second one was the bad one, now you're kind of gun shy. So feminine traits and masculine traits in the Jungian sense are not, I repeat, are not loyal to the social constructs of them respectively. So it's up to you, whatever you consider feminine and whatever you consider masculine. And you can base those off of social constructs, or you can base them on your own theories about what feminine and masculine are. But the idea is to have them in balance. I would say feminine qualities are consensus versus leadership. I know that sounds kind of vague, but I'm trying to narrow it down. It would also be feminine would be circular and masculine would be linear, logic-wise. And I would say that feminine would be more soft and masculine would be more hard and concrete, and feminine would be more versus concrete would be more abstract. women are better probably at abstraction. I know that's probably controversial and a lot of people don't think that, but because things like mathematics use abstraction and that's usually a men's domain. But I think that at root, feminine thinking is more abstract and masculine thinking is more concrete. For example, men tend to be drawn towards professions like concrete professions like construction and building things with their hands and welding and things like that, whereas women do things that are more like family. Did I freeze for a second? Hi, Essay. I think feminine is more about taking care of kids and masculine is more about being geared for work mentally and physically. I think that's way too loyal to the social construct, and that's changing. For example, a woman told me I was too feminine. Well, you were too feminine for her, Bryson, for her. Like women find men easy. That's what they do well. Men don't find women as easy. I disagree with that, Essay. I think men find it very easy to find women. I know that my cub sees other women and doesn't have a problem locating women and finding women. But men can do work better. I totally disagree with that, Essay. I think that women bring different things to the workplace than men do, and that they will do things by consensus, whereas men will do things by leadership more. And I think that we need that more. We need that consensus more in the workplace. I would say that the work that men are drawn to is more concrete, like construction and welding, and the work that women are drawn to is more social services and what's it called? Less mathematical and more anthropological, maybe, or sociological. Essay. Well, that's why we have these discussions, Essay. Is it too broad to ask how older women feel about sex? Yeah, I think so, because check your logic. An older woman that you date that might have already been through a marriage with kids is going to have a totally different attitude about sex than a woman who has never been married, like me, and likes dating younger men. So a woman who's been married for a long time might have some barriers up that a woman who has been single for a long time doesn't have. More willingness to explore and be open-minded, but I could be wrong. Yay, I've almost been on for an hour. I'm very proud of myself. So yeah, Bryson, you can't take it personally because what one person considers feminine, another person might consider masculine and vice versa. I think it's pretty rare. I think probably she's someone who is locked in the social construct, and by society's standards, she was concerned that you might be perceived by others as too feminine. So she was more concerned about what other people think. And that's another thing that might be different amongst cougars. Some cougars might be more comfortable with dating a younger man if they've been doing that than a woman that's new to it and has been married for a long time. I wonder where my light should be. There, that's better. I want to get some better ring lights and panel lights. I was watching Alexandra Anel. She's my favorite makeup YouTuber, and she was showing in her video today all her lights, and I was like, I really need to get some more lights. Daniel says, I'm attracted to women with masculine traits. See, Daniel has some insight into this. Now, Daniel, I'm going to ask you, what would you define as those masculine traits in particular? Because obviously, looking at Nikki Jean, she does not look masculine. So I'm asking you, what are her masculine traits that attract you? Is she more logical than you? She takes more initiative than you, and she helps balance out your feminine? Dawn. Oh, thank you so much, Dawn. I'm so glad you're in the chat. Thank you for joining. We have been talking about masculine and feminine and what they mean to different people and how each person must find a unique balance to them of their masculine and feminine. And Daniel Seeley is saying he likes older women with masculine traits. So I'm asking Daniel what he considers to be those masculine traits, because I know that his cougar is gorgeous and very feminine looking. So I want to know what he considers those masculine traits to be. I love the purple hair. Thank you, Check Your Logic. It's very flat today. I don't know why. I don't think I blow dried it enough. I do want to do the purple again. I think that purple is the first one to wash out. So it's already washed out of here. So I think I'm going to get some more. I love the way it smells. It smells like grape. Maybe it's actual Kool-Aid. Yeah, it wasn't green though. It was blue. It turned to green though. So the blue turned to green and lasted longer, and the purple washed out right away and is still purple, but it's a little red right here. It also made my hair much darker brown when I've been striving to have it blonde. And when I put the blonde spray in it, when I blow dry it, it has a lot more body. Speaking their mind, says Daniel, and taking the lead. And with them, I like to surrender and be more feminine. Yeah, that's amazing that you have that insight, Daniel. So many men would be like, oh, what do you mean getting in touch with my feminine? I'm not gay. You know, they have, it's men in particular more than women that have the problem embracing the opposite of them. I think women have had to operate in a masculine world for so long that they can more readily access their masculine traits. But for men, because women have been kind of second-class citizens, it's not as desirable to have, quote, feminine traits. Regarding the lighting, I think the light from the side is competing with the front light. So you might need adjustable front lights you can turn up during the day. Oh, okay. With the front light. I think the light from the side is competing with the front light. Are you talking about this light? Maybe I can close this. Is that what you mean, Dawn? Oh, now it's all blurry. I don't like how my camera, this is a relatively new camera, and I don't like the way it does that. It makes me mad that it won't focus properly. The window lights, yeah. Let me close the other one. I needed to open them because I was kind of depressed when I woke up this morning because I had some bad dreams. I thought it was just my shitty internet. That's funny. What camera is it? It is a Logicam, but I don't know what kind. I think it's the 1080. I'm pretty sure my internet is shitty too. Check your logic. I feel like it's really dark in here right now and I don't like it. Check your logic, Cam. I don't know if you're making a joke or if you really want me to do that right now. Do you really want me to do that right now? Let me see. Logitech, that's what it is, not Logicam. Oh, it's going to the website. I don't want to go to the website. I'll do it later. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of money and my viewers don't donate very much. So the way I look at it, they get what they pay for. If you guys want me to get better equipment, you have to donate. I don't know, check your logic. It is a mystery to me. If it's easy for men to see and date women, where do they typically look? I have no clue. I've just always had the impression that the guys that I see are seeing other women and that it's not hard for them to find other women. They treat me oftentimes like I'm disposable. So I think it's much more likely for men to treat women as disposable than women to treat men as disposable. So I think it's much easier for men to find a relationship than women. I also think just because they have the benefit of taking the first step, men, whereas for women, we don't like taking the first step as much, that men, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So men will go out there and ask out women, whereas women won't. I want to meet women. Check your logic. You've got to find out what your hobbies are that you might have in common with other people and join clubs. Like I'm doing. It doesn't have to be a club you're genuinely interested in. Like I'm not religious at all. I'm atheist, but I'm going on this 10-week thing because I'm hoping I can meet some cool people. I don't care if they're religious or not. I don't mind having religious friends. Are you super picky, check your logic, or are you open-minded to different types of women? I'm going to open this up. It's driving me crazy. It's too dark in here. I like that better. Yeah, check your logic. It might just boil down to the fact that men are more prone to asking women out than women are prone to asking men out. So it's like a closed mouth doesn't get fed. Gurinder, I totally agree. Mental attraction should be the same as physical attraction. It's between your ears more than your legs. I think that is great advice. Sorry, window open is better. Yeah, it was like ruddy. It was making me look ruddy when it was all dark around me. Dawn, I just want to thank you for your supportive comments. I have noticed them and I'm very, very grateful. I cleaned out my garden today. Doesn't that feel amazing, Sandy? 75 green tomatoes to make salsa verde. Oh, that's my favorite. 3 watermelon, 3 wash for butternut squash, kale, a few cucumbers, and that's it. I think that's a squash. Oh, Sandy, that's amazing. You'll have to do a video about it. You don't do those, do you, Sandy? You do videos of you gardening, but I haven't seen the harvest. Thank you, Dawn. Yeah, Sandy, you should do a harvest video, a cornucopia video. Get like the wicker horn and everything and stuff all your stuff in it and say, look, this is my cornucopia. This is harvest season. Harvest season is such a magical time. There is an ivy bush at the new train station that has, it's not a new ivy bush, but all the construction caused it to get bigger for some reason. And it smells really pungent and it's blossoming right now. I don't know what kind of ivy it is, but, oh, you do, Sandy. Okay, well, I'll look out for those. I hope you do one soon. Check your logic. What's the largest age gap you've personally seen in a relationship? Well, there's a YouTube video about like a 90-year-old woman with a 20-something-year-old man. But if you're asking me personally, I dated a 19-year-old when I was 44, 4 years ago. He was 19 and it was a disaster. But the good news is he got some help. He was rushing the relationship and he got some help and a male mentor, and he started getting more confident and realized that it wasn't a good match for us. So that was a good thing. Now I have to clean and prep all the raised beds for winter. That's wonderful, Sandy. I'm so jealous of you having that land that I used to have in Aberdeen where I could have done that, because I loved doing my suburban garden videos and they did get new viewers and people who were interested in the plants that I had. So I really appreciated that. And I don't like indoor plants, so I'm not doing indoor planting garden videos, but I was thinking about a terrarium. I wouldn't mind having a terrarium. There was a girl at the grocery store that made the most beautiful terrariums in the floral department, but they were very expensive and I never knew how long they would last. So I would prefer to make my own and know that what I was putting in it was going to last. So if you guys have any ideas about how to build a terrarium, I would love to hear it. Do any of you guys have reptiles? And if you do, how easy are they to care for? Because I joined a reptile group and then I left it because I didn't realize how much care had to go into caring for reptiles. So is it just because that Facebook group was really picky about how you care for reptiles, or are they really high maintenance? I know an iguana is high maintenance and long term. I would like something short term and low maintenance. And I was thinking more of like a chameleon. Oh, you lost a turtle once, Dawn. That's sad. See, I don't think turtles are appropriate pets because they live such a long time, right? And a lot of people keep them in confined little spaces and they won't grow any bigger. And I feel like that's cruel. Oh my gosh, Dawn, my sister still reminds me of it. That's horrible. Does she blame you for its death? Didn't confine him. That's good. How long did he live or she live? And is it easy to sex a turtle? How do you know the difference between a male and a female? Daniel says if you look up Dhaka Windbender Tantra on Instagram page will pop up and you will see what I look like. Oh, okay, let me do that. Oops, what did I just do? Almost logged out. Okay, I've got to copy and paste that. Dhaka Windbender. I can type that. Dhaka Windbender. Oh my gosh, you're so handsome. Ooh, you're a Stevie Nicks fan. That's right. You've got all those Stevie Nicks things. Aw, that's awesome, Daniel. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Hi, Gurkak. How are you? See, more people come into the chat the longer I stay on. So I should always try to stay on for at least an hour, I think. What's up, Gurkak? We're just talking about masculine and feminine and how they're different for each person. Check your logic. I'm afraid of showing my face. That's no problem. Check your logic. There's no obligation to do that. I know the internet can be a scary place. Just know that if you do, you'll probably feel better and get over that fear. I'm going to open the blind back here. Let some more light in because we're getting quite a bit of cloud cover now. We were sunny yesterday. I hope cougars would think I'm handsome. You are. Oh, I thought that was Daniel. I haven't seen Check Your Logic. Yes. Well, you can always like link a pic and I'll tell you, but I'm not going to tell you if I don't think you're handsome. So probably not. I'm going to say you ugly. Nobody's ugly. I don't look at people as being ugly or not ugly. I think you can tell from the tails of turtles. Really? I didn't know that. Good. I'm glad you're doing well, Gurkak. I wouldn't have a turtle and I wouldn't have an iguana. I would love to have an iguana. Don't get me wrong. I've wanted an iguana since I was about 12 years old. But I think for my personality, I need something that's not going to live that long. And I think iguanas live like 20 years, don't they? Lifespan of iguana in captivity. 12 to 15 years. That's like a cat. That's still too long. When I adopt a cat or a dog, I usually will adopt a senior because I don't like the long-term commitment. I'm also looking into getting a shared housing situation. I didn't realize, you guys, that the apartment listings will list shared housing as well. And I have had several responses from people that need roommates. So I would like some advice on whether you guys think I would be better suited to having female roommates or male roommates or a mix of both. I think I should have a mix of both, but the one that I first got a message from was all guys. So I lived with all guys when I first went to college because I had 3 cats and I couldn't be picky about where I lived. And that was not too bad, although the people I lived with ended up destroying the house and we all got kicked out because of that. So they were partying too much, but I don't think that would be an issue at my age now. A lot of people think I'm a female on the phone, but I've also heard women say my voice is sexy. Wow, Bryson, I don't see that. You don't sound feminine to me at all. That's weird. You've gotten some weird feedback, Bryson. I have to tell you, like, you shouldn't be taking any of this personally because I just don't see that. All right, I think that was my last Siggy. So my first day at my new job is tomorrow. I'm still getting the background check, so I don't know if I'll pass that, but I think I will. And I don't think they do drug testing, so that's a plus because I have THC in my system. My aunt confused me for my mom. Well, you probably do have similar sound to your mom just because you're related. And she probably assumes that it's your mom picking up the phone, so. I just have to say, you know, about the antinatalism thing. I am so glad that I have disassociated from the antinatalist community because I still look at the videos that are being put up every day and they're atrocious. The antinatalist community on YouTube is just atrocious. And Diane Natalist put up a video saying, fuck the mask, where she's harassing an Uber driver with her friend, not wearing masks in the Uber. And she just thinks it's hilarious. And all her viewers just think it's hilarious. It just makes me think antinatalists on YouTube are just mental. They're mental and not in a good way. Diane Natalist also uploaded a video where she came out as the right winger that she is, which I appreciated because she got a lot of thumbs down. She was saying that, you know, people aren't willing to take the low paying jobs and they're shit employees and they should be grateful for what they get and the state shouldn't be giving stimulus checks to people. And then she's harassing an Uber driver. She's terrible. And just because she's antinatalist, people will give her thumbs up. They don't care. But there are anti-vaxxers in the antinatalist community too. They're just a bunch of losers, in my opinion. And I think there are a lot of duplicate accounts in the community that are just dummy accounts that don't upload any content and they're duplicates to people that have genuine accounts. Dawn Dill, exactly. I think masculine and feminine are concepts learnt and associated rather than innate truths. Dawn, that is so true. And I wish it wasn't the case. But the reality is that no matter how much we try to distance ourselves from those social constructs, they still impact our mind. This is what Carl Jung would call the collective unconscious. So in the collective unconscious, there is still definitely a divide between the masculine and feminine just because of the way society has evolved. But yeah. I hate those porn bot accounts that get 20 likes in 5 minutes. I don't know about porn bot accounts, but I don't think that the biggest YouTubers are getting as many hits as they look to be. I think they have I think they hire people to give them thumbs up. They have agents that do that manage that for them and promote them. So a lot of YouTubers are just, the big YouTubers are just PR machines. I'm even distancing myself from ContraPoints because I feel like ContraPoints, as she's become more feminine, has become more wishy-washy and less, logical, I would say. She's doing all this wishy-washy stuff like video games now, and it's just kind of it's a disappointment to me. I was thinking about unsubbing from her, but I like her too much. But I mean, I hate to say it, but I feel like the drugs she's on are making her too feminine. But maybe she wants to be a girly girl. I don't know. I never know what problem mean when they say wishy-washy. I just mean she used to be more direct and concrete, and now she's become more abstract and less precise in her discussion. Fame does that to people, afraid to lose fans. Well, Dawn, I don't know if she's going to keep all those fans, because if she continues down this path, I feel like it's just going to be video gaming videos where she does, and makeup videos and stuff, where she used to do more intellectually stimulating stuff. But she's a philosophy graduate, so I'm looking forward to more philosophical videos. Has she made a new one? I like Natalie. Well, Sandy, I'm subscribed to her ContraPoints Live channel. So I've been seeing a lot of recent videos of her video gaming and putting on makeup and stuff. And it's just kind of not my thing. So maybe that's the one I'll unsub from. But I still like watching her. So I'll probably stay sub. I would say the ways have changed as I've gotten older is that I tend to voice how I feel more before I blow up. Yeah, Bryson, that's a good thing. And along with that, that's the anxiety thing. And that's also the appetite thing, rushing things. Is it weird if a cub is younger than the cougar's children? I don't know. I think it depends on the person. Check your logic. I think that it's going to take a lot for a woman with grown children to be open to dating someone younger than her own kids. That's just my opinion. I've been meaning to ask this for a while. I'm surprised I haven't asked much sooner. I think there's two things or more at work, and that is, first, just the fact that she's got older children that are grown children that are older than the guy she's dating is going to be something to overcome, because it's weird when you start thinking about, oh my gosh, my kid's older than you. But also it's going to be a woman that was probably married at some point, right? So she was probably married and for some length of time, and that's got its own issues. So I think there are at least two things going on. It's a bit easier if you were older than the kids, even if it's just 4 or 5 years. Really, Dawn? That's interesting. Sandy, we don't want to diss anybody. I know you might think it's gross, but Dawn is in a relationship like that, and it's been very successful for him. So, but I understand, Sandy, it's really hard for women to overcome that, more so than men, and that's the social stigma. Sure, a younger man, an older man with a woman that's younger than his own kids, we just look the other way. I've been younger than the kids a few times. Okay. I think we would have such a good time hanging out. I feel like we know each other and we don't really, little sis. I know, Sandy, I feel like we would have just endless discussions and never have a boring time together. Absolutely. I wish you lived in Seattle. Sometimes it doesn't bother me. Other times I feel awkward. Okay, so that probably is depending upon her reaction to it. So it's a double standard, says Bryson. Exactly. Oh, I was referring to Natalie's channel. Oh, Sandy, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. Okay, so yeah, I don't like the video gaming stuff, and I don't like the makeup stuff that she does. Like, if I want to watch a makeup video, I'll go to a makeup channel, but I'm not in ContraPoint subs so I can watch her do her makeup. It doesn't interest me. I like her philosophical discussions. I still love, Sandy, do you have a favorite video by ContraPoints? I think mine is the envy one. I found that really interesting, especially her commentary on the fear of envy and how some people have a healthy fear of envy, because it made me think, this is the difference between old money and new money. Like, old money people know that money is threatening to people and they don't want to show it off. So they'll buy expensive clothes, but they won't be loud clothes. Whereas people that are new money want everybody to know they have money. Then they attract gold diggers and then complain about gold diggers, but it's because they're new money and they're advertising to everyone that they have a lot of money, and it's tacky. That's just my opinion. How would you personally feel if a dude had a crush on someone old enough to be your mom? It doesn't bother me. I have no problem with it at all. Check your logic. I think that relationships are between those people. Old money is a Subaru Forester. In Seattle, Dawn? Hell yes. In fact, we have Carter Subaru here, and that's like a status symbol here, is to have your Carter Subaru license surround. That's so funny. Even when I bought my car, I bought it from Carter, and it had a Carter Subaru surround, even though it wasn't a Subaru. Jose show. Yeah, it's good drinking at work. What does that mean? What are you talking about, Jose? Are you drinking at work? What are you drinking? I think, Sandy, you're going to go look at her playlist. I think it's one of her more recent ones. I can put the link for you in the chat right now. I mean, personally, I don't think that, oh, you're drinking whiskey. I love whiskey. Okay, Sandy, there's the link. I can't pick a favorite of Natalie's. There isn't one that jumps into your mind right away. See, the envy one I thought was really good. But as far as all the surgeries ContraPoints has had done on her face, I really don't like it at all. I really liked the more androgynous look, and that's just my personal preference. I think that I didn't grasp how feminine ContraPoints wanted to be. It's like she's going for the ultimate feminine look. Nothing jumps in my mind right now. Okay, well, let's look at her list of videos. She's so beautiful, though. Envy was her most recent one, I think. She did the J.K. Rowling one, which I didn't really watch much. Then there was Canceling. There was Jordan Peterson. There was Incels. There was Justice. There was Cringe. Cringe was a good one. Pronouns, Opulence. I didn't see Opulence. I might look at that one. She wanted to feminize because she is a woman. Oh, you took it away. You didn't want me to read that one, Sandy. What's your digits? I'm not going to tell you that, Jose. She's a woman and she wanted the full feminine feeling. That's the impression I get, Sandy. Definitely. Funny how Jordan Peterson always comes after incels. I know, you would think that he would be pandering to them more. 8675309. Ooh, you like Jordan Peterson, Sandy? I think he's terrible. And Sandy, my problem with Jordan Peterson is that I feel like he bastardizes the Carl Jung philosophy. He considers himself a Jungian, and I think he's a terrible one at that. I don't think he grasps any of it. Like, I said in a Twitter that I came across when I was looking at my Twitter recently, because I never get on Twitter anymore. Natalie handled Peterson well. Yeah. So I think the thing with Peterson that bothers me the most is that he's not loyal to Carl Jungism. D-bag, exactly, Dawn. He's not loyal to his Jungianism. And if he was, he would appreciate postmodernism, which he hates and rails against. But postmodernism is at the heart of Carl Jung's theories, if you think about it, because Carl Jung values the individual experience. And that's all postmodernism is. Everybody likes to, has ContraPoints done a video on postmodernism? Oh my God, she's got to do that. Oh, she did. Oh, well, she's done a panel discussion, Postmodernism, Neo-Marxism, and Gender from May 2018. I think that ContraPoints should do, it's okay, Sandy, don't worry about it. I think that ContraPoints needs to do a definitive postmodernist video. Isn't postmodernism an oxymoron? I don't know. I mean, you could argue the semantics of it, check your logic, but my understanding of postmodernism is that it's just the valuing of the individual story that, in my opinion, comes from literature, not what other people claim, which is like it's in contrast to science. I don't see it as fighting with science. I don't see it as in competition with science. I don't see it as trying to subvert or co-opt science at all. Postmodernism is a more literary term or a more artsy term for the arts and literature that values individual experience. And that is why you see people from all over the world winning awards in literature these days, is because we have realized that the Western canon is not the limit that we should set to ourselves on literature. So postmodernism has been excellent for literature and art as well. And so Jordan Peterson, being a Jungian, should value that, because the Jungian theory is all about your own story and being the hero of your own story. And he preaches that, and then he rails against postmodernism because he links it to Marxism, which is ridiculous. He should have never gotten in those political waters. He doesn't know what he's doing. Oh, you said you're not a fan of Jordan Peterson. Yeah, I thought you said you were. Don Dill, truth equals proven truths plus unproven truths. Only proven truths fall under science. Yeah, I don't think postmodernism is trying to subvert or co-opt science or fight with it at all. I think it's just a different discipline. It belongs in a different discipline. It's not a challenge to science that people see it as. It goes back to a discussion about the difference between two terms that start with C. I think it's constructivism and versus, and then it's, well, let's look up constructivism first. Define. Okay, it's a video. Oh, I'm still on video search. That's why. Let me look up constructivism define. A style, see, it's an art thing. A style or movement in which assorted mechanical objects are combined into abstract mobile structural forms. The movement originated in Russia in the 1920s and has influenced many aspects of modern architecture and design. In mathematics, it's a view which admits as valid only constructive proofs and entities demonstrable by them, implying that the latter have no independent existence. So that is something that I looked into years ago. Philosophy of education in Wikipedia, constructivism, a theory in education that recognizes learners construct new understandings and knowledge, integrating with what they already know. How could anyone have a problem with that? It is associated with various philosophical positions, particularly in epistemology, as well as ontology, politics, and ethics. The origin of the theory is also linked to Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development. And then it's a huge wiki article. Oh, thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Daniel. So Dawn, I think that postmodernism fits more in line with the arts and literature, which I value as much as science, but I don't see it as competing with science like some people do. Some people have argued that it competes with science, and I don't think it has to be that binary either or. I think they're just separate disciplines. And I think there's a lot to constructivism. I'm going to look up constructivism, postmodernism. Okay, this is from commons.wvc.edu. The Essence of Constructivism by Vincent Pouliot. The relationship between constructivism and postmodernism is complex and ambivalent. The two books reviewed in this essay present contrasting visions on the matter, while the postmodernist critique reveals some contradictions in the way constructivists partake in the politics of reality. A linguistic perspective on global politics makes the case for the continuing complementarity of the two main post-positivist approaches in IR. I don't know what that is. In IR? Constructivism and post-structuralism. Attempting to find an inclusive way out to address the postmodernist critique, this review essay argues that social facts are the essence of constructivism. Not only do social facts constitute an ontological common ground for constructivists, but they also provide them with the precious foundations of reality. On the basis of the distinction between the act and the observation of essentially essentialization, the essay develops a post-fundamentalist position that makes it possible to grasp the essence of constructivism without partaking in the politics of reality. Well, that's interesting. I think it's good to parse those things. You know, I think that we have to parse them so we don't get people like Jordan Peterson muddying the waters. And I feel like he really muddied the waters and did his viewers and fans a disservice by linking postmodernism to neo-Marxism. So I also wanted to say to Dawn from reading that there are facts that are outside of science, and those would be social facts, as is said in here. This review essay argues that social facts are the essence of constructivism. So what about Dawn's social facts and historical facts? That was something that came up in the class I went to, the religious class. I found that the argument that was made for who was Jesus was all on historical facts and not scientific facts. And I thought that was very, very wise for him to disassociate from scientifically proving that Jesus existed and historically proving that Jesus existed by the texts that have been written. So I thought that was a smart way for him to go about his argument. I'm not on that boat. I believe Jesus existed. I don't believe he was this miracle maker. He was just a human. I don't believe he sacrificed for all our sins and that we're all given free will by that, because I'm not into free will. I'm more of a determinist. So I'm at odds with all of this religious talk, but I did appreciate that the speaker talked about historical facts as separate from scientific facts. There are literary facts, there are social facts, there are historical facts, there are artistic facts. Science does not have a monopoly on the truth. Thank you, Dawn. True. That's funny. Why did you change your username? Says Check Your Logic. I wanted to disassociate myself from the antinatalist community. I feel that the antinatalist community is toxic and abusive, and that most people on YouTube in the antinatalist community are just abusers, haters, and people I don't want to be associated with. A unified people need no leader. That's a great statement. So a lot of leader wannabes, JP included, start with creating division, usually by fabricating new enemies. Exactly. That is so well said, Dawn. It's like a binary. It's a masculine way of doing things. This binary, either or, whereas the feminine is more inclusive and consensus oriented. So I would say that Jordan Peterson has not done his Jungian work and balanced his feminine with his masculine. He's adopted the masculine social construct as his go-to, as his truth. And that's why he's so hostile towards women and women's issues. And so are his fans. And Dawn, we all know there are a lot of leader wannabes, and some of them in the antinatalist community. So that's another reason, Check Your Logic, that I took it out of my name. But I still look at antinatalist uploads every day because it cracks me up on how ridiculous these people are. You know who I'm talking about, Dawn. I don't know, Dawn, when we're ever going to get out of this us versus them thing. Little leader wannabes. Little leader wannabe, little emperor boot. What is it called? Little boot emperor. That's what my ex used to call people as a slur. Little boot emperor. Let's look up little boot emperor. More formally known as Gaius Julius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, he was given the nickname Caligula, meaning little boots in Latin, during his travels with his father on military campaigns as a child. Oh, okay. It was Caligula's nickname. That's funny. Well, he wasn't a great guy. I'm getting tired, you guys. I've been on for almost 2 hours. I think I'm going to cut it short here. I don't have any money, so I have nothing to do today, so I can stay on if you want, but okay, yeah, I'm going to go now, Dawn. Mwah! Dawn and everybody else, thank you so much, and I will talk to you later. Bye.